Ciao ragazzi, my name is Anthony. Welcome back on Inter Worldwide. Man, if I don't get copyrighted for that intro, that's sticking around for a while. That intro is sticking around for a while, as long as I don't get copyrighted on it. But we'll find out after today. Today's the first day that we're testing the waters with that. Let's see if that insertion of that video with a small background and filter makes it uncopyrightable. I'm looking forward to this, mostly because I get to come home from work, hug my wife, hug my dog. And this is exactly what I would do anyway. This is exactly what I would do, even if I wasn't recording. So it's really nice to be able to do this. Good to see Kreshnik. Good to see Lucas, my member, my Juventini member. I still can't believe that. That's incredible. Let's keep that comment up for a little bit. Serie A match day 4 was a pain in the ass for Inter fans and for a lot of fans. Some of us cashed in on it. Some of us lost. Some of us lost our 3 points, our 2 points. We lost it all. Some of us won. You know who did win? Udinese, Atalanta, Napoli, Milan, off the mark. I would say Torino still won to an extent, getting a point, even though it was at home. Lecce can also share the spoils there. No, you know what? Torino didn't win that. Not after the start that they've made to the season. They definitely didn't. Can't count that as a point gained. I'm sorry. Let's look at it a little bit more specifically. Here we are, match day 4. And we're doing bits in terms of, well, let's just say that Napoli is well and truly here. They are here this season because that 4-0 away to Cagliari is peak Antonio Conte hitting the ground running. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to start murdering Serie A games very soon. I fully expect them to be there at the end of the campaign. Como looked set. I called it that they were going to get their first points. 3 points. I thought it was coming, man. 2-0. Cutrone to the good. They almost had it. The fairy tale was there for the first 3 points, and Bologna had to ruin it. Samuel Illing Jr., I believe, had to ruin it. Once again, I've only seen the highlights of half of these games. So let's go through the list and I'll be able to basically type in to see the highlights for the ones that I didn't watch. Obviously, I can't share those. I hope that intro still sticks now that I'm talking about it. But there's definitely still a couple of games that I didn't get to watch, and we need to make sure that I do watch the goals before talking about it. Como and Bologna, 2-2. Interesting result. Como get their second point in Serie A. I thought that the 3 points were coming. Bologna is only a point above them on the table, 3 points at the moment, after getting 3 draws and a loss so far this season. Like I said, Cutrone off the mark, well and truly for Como. And they can be happy with the performance, but I don't think that they're going to be happy with the result. Illing Jr., after being sold to, I'm pretty sure, what's it called? Where did Illing Jr. get sold to and then loaned out straight away? Was it Aston Villa? Anyway, I'm jumping the gun a little bit here. Let's just go through the results. Empoli 0, Juventus 0, Milan 4 off the mark, Fonseca, Venezia 0, Genoa and Roma. Genoa pinch a point again in the last minutes of the game. That's a heartbreaker. We'll get to that soon. That's a game I haven't actually watched the highlights for yet. Atalanta and Mr. Lookman. My goodness. Those rumors to PSG were no shit in the offseason. He's on the move big time at the end of this season. Believe that. I don't want to cover up this nice old school badge, actually. Nice kit. Torino 0-0 with Lecce, the ball draw of the match day. One of the games that paid well on my multi. A lot of people knew that this one was going to be a low-scoring game. Napoli and Lukaku definitely on the train, the Conte train. Monza give Inter an absolute awakening. Putrid performance from Inter. Inexcusable. We'll get to that soon. Parma, despite putting 2 goals on the board, cop 3 to Udinese. This is Udinese, like the most well-known club for terrorism football in Serie A for the last decade, and they are at the summit. Udinese is at the summit. Lazio turned it on for moments, during Verona. That's another game where I need to see the highlights. For Como and Bologna, I saw that game, spoke about the goal scorers and Ealing Jr. Disappointing for Como to not get those 3 points, because think about the confidence that it would have given Como to jump out of the relegation zone and be ahead of teams on the Serie A ladder like Roma, like Monza, like Fiorentina, like Parma. You know, they would have been on 4 points had they held on there. The news about Varane for Como is just still so shit, isn't it? Thank you. Ealing went to Aston Villa. Thanks for clarifying that. The news about Varane, like, I really wanted him to see him play for Como in that jersey this season. I really did. For Bologna and for Vincenzo Italiano, it's peak. Do you actually think that they're going to have to battle relegation this season? Because guess what? They're very lucky that their first match day is at home for the Champions League. That's right. Bologna at Champions League. They face Shakhtar Donetsk, Ukrainian heavyweights, 2:45 in the morning, Thursday here in Sydney. Bologna are playing Champions League football. That's right. And if I'm not mistaken, they don't have obviously they're going to be one of the whipping boys in this competition. But I'm very much looking forward to seeing the team known as Bologna play Aston Villa, Monaco. I think they've also got Dortmund. Yeah. And I forget who their last team is. In their group. But, you know, they're going to struggle all season to cope with these fixtures, to cope with keeping up with everything that a season like this demands with European football. It's just they're playing at such a disadvantage compared to some of the other clubs, because they don't have the history and the backbone. And I can see them suffering in every competition this year. And just, I guess the word for Bologna this season will be overwhelmed with the transition and not having the resources to pull it off. Morning, Amadeo, another Juve fan who always gives me the respect here. Thank you. Morning, Bray. Who do you think will win the league this season so far? Look, I'm still going to say, like, with my Inter heart and chest, that, you know, a draw away to Monza doesn't take away the fact that I believe Inter should win the Scudetto this season and should win Serie A. I never say that, but I also don't want to sit here and lie to people. You know, we should still be the favorites. We've got the best squad. And unless we start going 5 or 6 points behind, I don't think anyone should be talking about, any of our own fans talking about us not winning the league. That being said, I'll be the first in the group chats to say the season's over when we don't have a good result. And people who know me well from those chats will know that that's true. We've got a few others in there. It's pessimism city at the moment. Kreshnik says, Udinese's Lorenzo Luca looks like a star, and I think he should get a chance to play for the Azzurri. He is looking pretty good. I've only seen very short moments of him, but he is looking pretty good. Let's start going to the slides, man. Empoli, 0. Juve, 0. Bad result. Very bad result. Because I don't have any guests or anything on this channel, I'm not going to be biased. We all see the colors that I wear. So I'm not going to say anything about Juventus's result that I wouldn't say about Inter's result as well. So, but awful result. Not a good performance. Lackluster on the ball. It played like a team that lacks players that know what it means to play for Juventus. As usual, you got to remember this team does not have an Italian spine. We are transitioning this Juventus from a massive gap in terms of recognizing the name on the front of the chest rather than one on the back. You don't just lose players like Andrea Pirlo, Basali, Buffon, Chiellini, even Bonucci to a degree, Marchisio. All these players who forge a massive DNA in the club that pushes them on in moments in games like this. You can't just replicate it with skill, technique, talent. However, there is a side to this game that needs to be spoken about, and I'm glad that Lucas dropped it in the chat here, because Motta did, I think, approach this game plan slightly incorrectly. Plus, also, everyone was technically horrible. Gonzalez looked like a donkey on ice skates. That's because Nico Gonzalez is not worth the money that you are paying him. He's not a bad player. He's one of the better wingers in Serie A. It just so happens that the pool of wingers in Serie A is not of a high-tier quality. It's a shame that Ian Robben prices from 2010 are being applied to Nico Gonzalez here for Fiorentina in 2024. And that, yes, inflation and context is very real. Those are two very different players with different realms of ability and in different leagues as well. But you get the point that I'm trying to make. However, altogether, it's another game where you did not concede a goal Lucas and Juventus, and that should be praised to an extent, albeit Empoli probably want less to do with the opposition's goal than they want to do with almost anything in the league. They have been a serial team like that just sits back and is like, we cannot wait for our 2 to 3 chances to hit you on the break and absolutely ruin your day. And it was Juve's day that they ruined. Tough fixture for Juve coming up against Napoli next, high-flying Napoli. I personally will be hoping that Antonio Conte's Napoli do them over. But now it's just a matter of both of them or one of them dropping points from Inter's point of view. However, we've got our own demons to face. I'm going to keep Lucas's comments up for a bit because it keeps the video going a bit longer. I actually can go a little bit longer than usual today. Even Yildiz didn't even try to take anyone on. It was just a weird game. Yeah, overall, just a little bit lackluster, man. Almost like players shouldn't be sent to international break 3 goddamn weeks into a competition. Yeah, let's speak for everybody. Let's not show our bias for a second. Let's actually speak holistically. Maybe we shouldn't be sending players on a shitty international break 3 weeks into a season. It's awful. It's awful. Who does this? Man, the players are starting to speak as well. I don't know if you guys are listening, but the players are starting to speak in all realms of football. They're not happy. At the end of the day, they got their health to look after, their muscles, but more importantly, they're starting to spend. I started to look at the calendar. They're starting to spend sometimes less than 5 calendar weeks a year with their family. Like that's not a lot at all. Some players, if you are high tier in demand for international football in the year of an international break season, 3.5 weeks away from family. That's not mucking around. There's a certain amount of money that can't buy that side of your life. And I think that's why you might see a lot of players take their bag and retire early. Don't hold me to that, though. Let's move on to the second shitheads of the Serie A match day, and that is us. Cheers. Marvel Lawson, my member, is in the chat as well. What's good, bruv? Thanks for your consistent support. I really appreciate it. You make this channel what it is. We sucked, bro. We sucked. You know, it's been a long time since I got that angry after a game. It's been a long time because everyone said it perfectly in the group chats. Like, we've seen this before. It just so happens that we haven't seen it for a year and a half. We've seen this sort of performance and this sort of mentality before. We've seen this in the seasons where players thought they should win the game without actually winning the game. I saw Marcus Thuram not put in a great show. I saw every player on that pitch, including the workhorses like Matteo Darmian, Stefan de Vrij, whose ability defensively we are debating all the time, but I never ever questioned de Vrij's work ethic ever. He's an 11 out of 10 work ethic performer. It was bad, man. I knew like 10 to 15 minutes into the second half that we weren't going to win the game. But when Monza scored, bro, I lost it. I absolutely lost it. I couldn't believe that we were losing to Monza with the players that we still fielded. I seriously questioned Inzaghi's decision first as the game started with the rotation. Obviously, I'm always going to give this manager the benefit of the doubt 2 or 3 times because he's done an amazing job here. But as the game goes on, I think to myself, no. And I know hindsight, and I know it's 2020, or in this case, 56th minute as Lautaro's getting subbed off. I go, no. We are not playing young boys on Wednesday. We are not playing Shakhtar. We are not playing Benfica. We are playing Man City in Manchester. You can make that the throwaway game, buddy. You can make that the throwaway game. No one is going to sit in that dressing room after the game and go, oh, woe is us. We did not beat Manchester City in Manchester. Mate, we could lose 4-1 to Manchester City and we'd pick our shit up and go again. We'd win the derby 3-0 if we lost to Man City 4-1. Believe that. But no. We threw away 2 points against Monza. And that's not good. However, Marvel is also reading my mind from the positive side of things. It's good that we have that at the beginning of the season. It's a good wake-up call before the derby. And I remember this happened to us last season. The Sassuolo and then the Bologna draw. And remember, we publicly heard players come out and say, we know that these are the mistakes of prior years, and we know that these can't be repeated throughout the season. And we didn't. We Serie A. So hopefully it is the wake-up call. Good for Denzel Dumfries' mentality and motivation to get on the score sheet. 88th minute goal. But ultimately, Inter have to wear the point against Monza. Pablo Mauri, who's in the background there, had a really, really good game, to be honest. He wasn't the only player against Inter that had a really good game, though. Danny Motta, the player who scored the goal, had a good game as well. I was really impressed with Pessina, still at his age. Carboni was good. Iso led the game well. Maldini wasn't one of the better performances, in my opinion. Caprari wasn't too bad. And I didn't see Duric do much except clap his hands, but, he's having a good time. Off the top of my head, that's pretty much the whole Monza starting lineup. For us, on the other hand, Di Marco showed probably the most effort. His products were awful on the day. Martinez, awful performance. I'm not going to go into it too much at all. In fact, I'm not going into it on this video. You can watch any of the other content on this channel for that. And you know who surprisingly was absolutely horrendous in this game? Benjamin Pavard. He was not good. He looked lazy. He was slow to the ball. He lost out in challenges. He didn't look like a World Cup winning player at all. A lot of players on that pitch thought the game was beneath them. And now they want to play Manchester City and the Derby della Madonnina back-to-back. Show us what you got, lads. The second biggest thing that ticks me off was the fact that even though we have a game against City, Inzaghi thought, no, don't worry about putting Nico or Alessandro or Hakan on the pitch. Those decisions were just awful. I would have brought Barella in the 60th minute. I would have brought Bastoni in the 65th minute. Get all your big boys and all personalities on. Get the people that are going to almost huddle the team and walk the ball into the back of the net. But I'm not Inzaghi. I'm just a fan. So I don't know what I'm talking about. And therefore, we must move on. God, that pisses me off. Look at that. Oof. I like Napoli. Got family ties to Napoli. Always looking at Napoli second. But that's making it difficult. That's making it difficult. That head is making it difficult. And we're going to have to get used to it. I think he's got 2 goals for them so far. 2 goals. He's going to get more. Romelu Lukaku has arrived. And to be honest, it's going to take a lot of effort slowing him down. It's going to take a lot of effort slowing, Napoli down in general. And a couple of other players that I'm very, very impressed with would have to be, this isn't a surprise, Sombongi Sarr. I've always liked him. God, he's a good player, man. And what a bargain he was from Fulham. Kvaratskhelia finish for his goal as well is like actually nothing short of world class. Nothing short of world class right there. Their next game is a huge one against Juventus. They don't have to play European football. Everybody's stressing to the maximum about their European fixture this week. Napoli have a 7-day break in between games. And you know what their game in between their next Serie A game is? Palermo in the Coppa Italia. Antonio Conte is looking at this fixture list going, oh my God, we can really cook something here. 2 goals and assists for Lukaku. I'm putting Marvel's comment up, even if it's not related to this now, because he's my member. Last year, we were complaining by the fact that Inzaghi don't give the chance to other players. I did the same last game, but some of them didn't show up. I feel you. And I feel like the hindsight is everything, man. But still. Ongi Sarr is a fucking beast. He's such a good player. He's a workhorse. He's a workhorse. Di Lorenzo had a good game. Crava's goal was world class. And Buongiorno is a huge signing. Buongiorno is a huge signing. Napoli, if they're leading the pack come January, the title of favorite will dramatically shift. If Conte and Inzaghi were horses Who would you back in the final sprint if Conte had 200 less meters to run? Picture that with European fixtures. Ooh, not good, cuz. Let's move on to something that was really, really good. Atalanta versus Fiorentina was a really, really, really good game. I have watched the extended highlights and the mini match. Hell, man, I've watched about probably a good 68 minutes of this game. And the way that Gasparini's boys played, it was just pure grit. It was pure grit. And you know what? They've got so much talent in that team. So much talent in that team at the end of the day. And the main conversation that we're going to have is about a certain player soon. But as far as them attaining points this season and everything else goes, I'm still confident that they're going to seriously trouble for a top 4 spot. They're my pick outside of your Inter, Juve, Napoli, to even maybe ahead of Milan to get really firmly into that next Champions League spot, because they've just got players that are at a hungry point in their career. They're at a hungry point in their career. What do I mean by that? It's going to take some doing, but off the top of my head, let's talk about some players. Retegui is very hungry at the moment. He gets his name on the score sheet again. De Catalare with a huge monkey on his shoulders to get off. A huge backbone to prove after tanking at Milan. You know, Raul Bellanova, after being shunned by Inter, is slowly and motivationally climbing his way back up to being the most sought after right wing back in the country. That's not an exaggeration. He's there. Even fucking Kolasinac is playing well. For God's sake, Karnisecki didn't have the best game. I guess their goalkeeper can be looked at. If you go and watch the highlights and look at Fiorentina's goals, you can actually put Karnisecki down to a slightly average performance. But now we can switch to the man of the hour. It's Lookman. Like that assist was out of this world for Retegui. His performance as a whole, cheers, Lucas. Ciao, bro. That Lookman assist and that performance it's world class. PSG were the hungry ones in the summer. It fell through. I'm not too sure why. That's a conversation for another time. But he's going to be huge for Atalanta this season, and he's going to go for huge money, gang. He's going to go for money. He's going to go for money. I reckon it's going to be somewhere around about the 40 to 50 million mark. He could go straight to England. He could go to Bayern Munich. He could go to Paris. He could go anywhere. The sky's the limit for this kid. Atalanta and Fiorentina's game was very good, though. If you do want to go and watch an extended version of a game this weekend, make sure you go and do that. Obviously, the 5 goals. It was a very even game percentage-wise. I was looking at the stats earlier today. They had very similar shots. So it was a good game. I forget who scored the first goal for them, but the second goal was scored by Moise Kean, who I think has now got 2 goals in Serie A this season so far, which is really, really good for him, considering his horrendous form at Juve. If he's got 2 goals already in 4 games in Serie A, that's a good start for Ken. Personally, that's a good start for him, but I don't think in total it's going to help the fact that Fiorentina have, once again started slow. 14th on the ladder, 3 points, winless in 4 games. That has to be spoken about for La Viola. You can't do that. You can't not win any of your first 4 games. And Palladino just looks like he doesn't know what he's doing at this point. It's not like he's got shit players. I mean, let's be honest with each other. Like, he doesn't have shit players. He has players that definitely should be winning one of their 4 games. They dropped points, I think, at home with Monza. God damn it, Monza. Monza, bro. Who said in the chat like 2 seconds ago it's like their second worst favorite fixture? Yeah, Lucas said it. Monza's annoying as hell. They also dropped points to Parma this season. That was another game. And Venezia. They've had a shit start to the season. I don't know what Fiorentina's fixtures are coming up, but I guarantee you they're harder than the fixtures that have just come before them. Moving on. Torino and Lecce play out the goalless draw. We picked that one. We picked that one across a couple of shows last week. That was on the multi-slip. 0-0. Not the result that Torino would have wanted, but at the end of the day, they won't cry over another point. They've got 8 points out of 12 to start their Serie A campaign. They're still undefeated. They just know that these were 3 points that were on offer to them that they probably should have got. The game wasn't an overall boring game. It was just your typical game in Serie A. I've only seen extended highlights, probably about 16, 17 minutes altogether. But so far, I can say like it's been a good start to the season from some of the Torino players. We know that Duvan Zapata's looking, a lot fitter and athletic. Samuel Ricci, I think Ricci is how you pronounce it in Italy. He's looking pretty good. He's young, 23 years old. Italy has a bad habit of overhyping some of their players, but this is a player that sort of has been sought after for, over a calendar year now. So I guess he's done his time at his mid-table club to warrant the conversation. If he can have a really good season under his belt at Torino this season, then why not? And a couple of other players that I think are doing well, but I didn't watch this game closely. So just after the last match day, Coco and Valentino Lazzaro have also been impressing their fans. I had no idea, but when I watched the extended highlights and I see Ante Rebic carrying the ball for Lecce, like, holy shit, when did he move over from Besiktas? But Ante Rebic was playing for Lecce. There you go. Off the mark, Emerson Royal, Teo Hernandez, Fonseca. Milan are off the mark this season. 4 goals. 4 goals is good. That's a good start. It couldn't have been anything else against who is supposedly in not only mine, but, Alejandro from the Bianconero zone put the thought in my head. And after I got off that stream, I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? I think he's right. Venezia are the worst team in Serie A. Milan made an absolute mess of them inside 25 minutes or 27 minutes. And there's just nobody in that Venezia side that's going to save them this season. It's definitely not going to be Alfred Duncan. And the only person I feel sorry for in their side is Filip Stankovic, to be honest. But that Venezia team is going straight down this season, straight back down to Serie B. If anyone wants to wager that they won't, I'm happy to take it because I'm that sure that Venezia have no place in Serie A next season. However, let's give Milan a little bit more airtime. Let's give them just a little bit more because I don't want to appear biased. That's a good win for them. That'll bring them up to 5 points, if I'm not mistaken. The 4 goals is good for their goal difference as well, which was struggling. And, the season basically starts now for them because, they're only minus 5 points from the top of Serie A, which is nowhere near definitive on match day 4. Fonseca can now go back to the dressing room and say, look, our season starts now, but it's going to be tough, because I don't know if anybody knows, but they play Liverpool in the Champions League in their first game. And that historically has got beef. That historically has got blood. We've got the 2 Champions League finals in the space of 3 calendar years. It's going to be a really good game between Milan and Liverpool. Both teams underperforming, I think, at the moment. Liverpool, in my opinion, should get the job done. Let me just double check where that game is being played, because if it's being played, no, it's actually being played at the San Siro tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Those Milan fans are going to turn up. They're going to turn up. That's Champions League against Liverpool at home for the Milanisti. Come on. Don't let yourselves down. Show up. I was about to banter, but no, we shouldn't do that. Moving on. Genoa, proper thieves. Proper thieves. Marvel, I'm going to reserve Deadby talk for a bit later on the channel, man, if that's okay, because I just want to make sure I get through this stream. Roma thought they had it done. Not to be. Now comes the time where I get to watch the first video of the day. I haven't actually seen these highlights properly. Struggled big time to find time so far this week. Let's have a look. Proper thieves, Genoa, man. They stole it against us. They stole a point, and they've stolen one late again against Roma. Who is that is clapping in front of them at the start of the game? I've got no idea. Clapping a tennis racket. I'm keen to see Ndika and Mancini in defense, to be honest. Salemakas started as well. So did Cristante, Kone, Osharawi, Dojbik, and Dybala. Bruv, it's not that great of a team, eh? Pellegrini's on the bench. Hummels is on the bench. Hummels is playing for Roma. Mats Hummels is playing for Roma. Mancini is captaining this club at the moment. For Genoa, it's a very nice goalkeeper jersey, man. That Golini's wearing, I've got to say. It's very, very nice. I'd almost think about buying that. I know they started with Badel, Torsby, Martin, Sabelli. Pinamonti played for them as well in this game. First highlight that I've come across. I'm just watching a series of highlights that someone has put up. Not necessarily Serie A. Oh, that's a great flick. That should be a penalty. That's the flick. Was that the flick from Dovbik? My pronunciation of his name is 100% incorrect. Oh, it's a great assist. Very Edin Dzeko-esque. And I wonder if any Roma players have so far made that comparison, and when he literally looks like Edin Dzeko. Oh, no penalty. Yeah, it was a decent challenge, I guess. All ball. Corner as a result. They almost score anyway. I think it's another corner. That was Mancini who headed that. Always knows how to get himself in the right position off corners. Off the chest of the defender. Another corner, another highlight. Straight away on the 13th minute back-to-back. They've peppered the goal. No end product. Chance for Genoa around about the 21st minute. Nothing on it. Hardly even worth a highlight. Ball comes in. Keeper spills slightly. Turnover in midfield. Cheap by Roma to give possession away, but even cheaper by Genoa to give it away straight back. Very well dribbled and bumped off the ball. Oh, no wonder. I'm watching proper extended highlights here of this other channel. What's this channel called? No, I'm not going to say it out loud. Anyway, here we go. Should have just trusted the original highlights from Serie A and not gone to a bootleg channel. Anyway, ball comes cleared in. Oh, what a save. What a save, man, on El Shaarawy's shot from the keeper. Another cross in here. Loose. How are there that many Roma players there in that position waiting for the ball? Goal. Offside. They're checking it. No, El Shaarawy's onside there. That should be a goal. It is a goal. That's his first goal for Roma this season. Oh, God, that's close. I'm up to the 70th minute now, guys. Thanks for bearing with me. Can't believe Malinovsky's still having moments like that. Red card for who? Oh, De Rossi got his first red card of the season. Laters, De Rossi. Bro, that's so late in the game. 95. That's fucked, bro. Bro, I swear to God, if that happened to Inter, oh my God. That is just devastating. That is devastating. De Vinter makes it 1-1, Genoa and Roma. Man, that is just absolutely brutal to have that happen so late in the game. Oh, well. Like we said at the start, Patrick Cutrone, we spoke about this game already. Como really should have won this game. They really should have won this game. But, you snooze, you lose. Bologna, happy to capitalize with Ealing Jr. and both sides need points ASAP. You know who doesn't need points because of how many points they've already got, which is 10? Udinese. Udinese and Parma, which played out 2-3 this morning, and I haven't seen those, so we've got to hit those up as well. Can't even remember the last time these sides played each other. Can't remember like a game in my head. But anyway. All right, let's go. Straight away. Goal scored straight away for Parma. The cross came in, much to the delight of their home fans. Lovely little tap in there. Yeah, that's nice from Del Prato. That's a good finish. That's a good little finish. Tidy. Udinese pushing the ball forward now. Parma defender looking to clear. Oh, shit. That was like a save off the crossbar and the keep. I've never seen anything like that. There you go. Oh, it's 2-0 to Parma. Great control from Boni. Great control to finish that on the inside. Parma coughed this shit up. Oh, that's awful. What have they done? Udinese hit the post on the 45th minute. They actually went to halftime 2-0 up Parma. 2-0 is the worst lead at halftime, eh? It actually is the worst lead. Cross comes in, easy header. No one marking Luca. No one marking Luca. Lucha, sorry. No one marking him. Cross comes in again. And again, no one marking. A goal for Torven. He should have just let it go. It was going in anyway, was it? I don't know. Possibly. Oh, shit. That's the challenge. And then it's a red card. Like, this is a proper capitulation. This is a capitulation in like the space of 20 minutes. Awful. Ball comes in. It's literally a matter of time before the winner's coming here. Bang. In it goes. Torven scores it again. 3 goals in 27 minutes. And Udinese are top of Serie A. How do you like that? Good for them. What a team this season. Disappointing for Parma. They would have really thought they deserved something from that game. And I think this might be the last game of the match day. Lazio defeat Verona by 2-1. Another game that I didn't get to see and another game that I'm very happy to be able to watch right now. Once again, a Lazio side that they just do nothing for me talent-wise in their roster. Goals for Dia and Castellanos that I read today. I just don't know when they came though. I just know who scored and the scoreline at the end. Not even too sure. One of my friends said that Lazio were improved today, but could have been better. But I'm not too sure how much of the game even he was able to catch. So let's have a look. All right, there's Guendouzi with all his hair. Here's Dia. Easy. Just too easy. Montipo's a shit goalkeeper, to be honest. He does nothing for me. He does nothing for me. 28 years of age just does nothing for me. 28, 29, he must be already. It's good control, though, from Dia. Very good control from Dia. Oh, how's that ball slipping through there? Oh, bro, it's the 7th minute. It's 1-1. It is 1-1. Tenstedt can't believe his luck. That ball sliced right in between Romagnoli and I think Gila, or was it Tavares? I couldn't see. Anyway, that highlight just skimmed past me, but one of them had to be Romagnoli there. I'm pretty sure. It looked like a bulky player. It was Romagnoli for sure. Anyway, good free kick. Corner for Lazio. 2-1. 2-1 inside 20 minutes. That's Castellanos. Good old Castellanos from the MLS. I think I bagged him out to Alejandro on the Bianco in our touchline talk episode this week. And there he is scoring goals. There he is scoring goals, which turn out to be the winner in the game. Double attempt there. Oh, Dia had a shot in there. Oh, how's he missed that? And who missed that? Was that Castellanos or Zaccagni? Hold on. I want to watch that highlight back one more time. Dia's got the ball, plays it into... That's Mattia Zaccagni, bro. That's Zaccagni, bro. That is Zaccagni. You dick. But, oh well, all is well that ends well. And in that particular game, Lazio prevail. Let's have a look at the standings before I head off. It's been a very enjoyable 45 minutes. Udinese, would you believe it, are first in Serie A. That won't last too long, though. That won't last too long. Napoli have found their form. They've found their rhythm. And now it's 9 points out of a possible 12. And it's looking a lot better for them. Inter, Juve, Torino share up the next spoils on 8 points apiece. Lazio 7, 6 shared by Verona and Empoli. Atalanta and Milan close out the first half of the Serie A table. Genoa, Parma, Lecce falling behind there with 3 points each. It's Fiorentina, Monza, Roma, and Bologna. Como's got 2, Cagliari 2, Venezia 1. So far, the following sides in Serie A are yet to win a game. Everybody in the top half of the ladder notably has won a game. Fiorentina are winless in 4, as are Monza, Roma, Bologna, Como, Cagliari, Venezia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams in Serie A yet to register a win in 4 match days. Very good. Thank you very much to everybody that came through today. My name is Anthony, and I will continue to do this every match day that I have the opportunity. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.